My name is Steve Eisen. I'm the safety director of Killpack Trucking, and I'm going to show you how to correctly utilize the sleeper berth provision and how to use it using the Zonar. Now, I got this directly from FMCSA's website, and the sleeper berth provision says drivers may split the required 10-hour off-duty period as long as one off-duty period, whether it is in or out of the sleeper berth, is at least 2 hours, and the other involves at least 7 consecutive hours spent in the sleeper berth. All sleeper berth pairings must add up to at least 10 hours. When used together, neither time period counts against the maximum 14-hour driving window. Drivers using a sleeper berth must take at least 8 hours in the sleeper berth and may split the sleeper berth into 2 periods, providing neither is less than 2 hours. All sleeper berth pairings must add up to at least 10 hours. Now, basically what that's saying in a nutshell is that you can pause your 14-hour clock. And that is exactly what I need to do today, because I got myself in a bit of a predicament where I got caught up in a loading document for a pretty good amount of hours. Now, if you look at my hours today, I started my clock about 2:30, and then I drove until about 9:15, checked in at the shipper, and then I got held up in the shipper for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so over 4 hours held up at the shipper. And basically what that means is that I had more time on my on my 11-hour clock to drive than I did on my 14 hours. So now it would really benefit me to be able to pause my 14-hour clock. Now we got to do a little bit of math to figure out how far I can get, because I am going to drive into the red. And then after I spend, my 10 hours off in sleeper berth, the red is going to go away. So if I started my clock at 2:30, that means on a normal day, my clock would be up, my 14-hour clock would be up right at 4:30. And that's where you can see the red on my log starts at 4:30 and goes until 6 when I finish driving. So right now, technically, yes, I am in violation, but I'm not, because I'm going to apply the sleeper berth provision. So I have to calculate how many hours I spent sitting, which was, let's see, it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 hours I spent sitting. So I can actually extend my 14-hour clock by 4.5 hours. So now my 14-hour clock, instead of being up at 4:30, it would be up around 9 o'clock p.m. because that's when, that's how long I sat, was that 4.5 hours. So, but what I need to remember to do is, once I get to my destination, I have to put it in sleeper berth, and then after I take my 10 hours off in sleeper berth and wake up in the morning, this red violation is going to turn to green. Alright, now that I've shown my 10 hours off duty, I'm going to go back to the previous day where I went into violation. And as you can see, that red that was right there starting at about 4:30 to 6 is now green, because I have correctly applied the sleeper berth provision for that day. And if you guys have any questions on that, please call me and ask me. I'm happy to help.